All right, so the upheaval at the lockups at Unspe last evening was stemming from the consistent seizure of contraband from inmates, and more so, the officers actually uncovered what seemed to be a storehouse, or should I say, a stash of contraband, whereby they dug out a bunk within a particular cell, excavate therein and store several cell phones, in fact some 21 cell phones, several knives, chargers, earpiece, marijuana, grabber, lighters, and a host of other illegal substance was retrieved from same. That would have given rise to the upheaval that we had. The inmates were there chanting and throwing feces, or should I say urine and other waste matter at the officers. In fact, several of the officers were dosed, as it were. They weren't permitted or allowed, so to speak, to venture on the block. And so support had to be called in, reinforcement was called in, and the necessary was done to contain and restrain the inmates. And this, of course, was after much verbal reach out to them, instructing, demanding for them to stand down and not to pursue what they were pursuing. So that was the situation, but it was the seizure of the contraband. Their insistence was to get back their ganja and their cell phones, and when that demand was not met, then they thought to do otherwise.
Que pasa, sapa, say what they do. Welcome to Crime Time News, where the difference is in the meds. Call it news with a buzz. It seems as if the inmates at our fine penal institution are not satisfied with the food and the accommodation, meaning the facility. It seems as if they are not getting the rights in which they think they deserve, because, as you and I know, most criminals think or feel as if they are entitled. Even though they were out there on the street, creating all sorts of chaos and catastrophe, they think that their rights should always be maintained. They think that they have more rights than the people upon the streets. So the video that I showed you is of a search that was conducted by the Popo at the Huntsby Popo station. Pretty much they had to get some sorts of excavator, and them have to dig skillfully deep within a cell to uncover all of the contrabands, the stash, the warehouse of contraband that was hidden by these skillful criminals. One thing we've realized with Jamaicans, they have innovative ways to do negative stuff. However, ask them to fill out an application and get a job. Everybody get lost, everybody get dumb, everybody get mum. Nobody don't know what you're talking about. So you hear the officer for that place, Mr. Ricketts, talking, told you exactly what transpired his side of the story. Pretty much after they realized that they found the stash with the cell phone, with the charger, with the weed, with the knife, with the shank, with the any and everything, they began to revolt. They were PISSED off, ticked off, because they must say, then, oh, we are going to conduct business, oh, we are going to call, oh, we are going to go up on internet, oh, we are going to show up or make any sorts of videos so people out there in the free world can see how we are living big time criminals without any sorts of restraint. So people, there was pretty much two revolts, one in the greater Portmore Popo station, one at Huntsby. They had to bring in reinforcements, and after the smoke cleared, couple of guards, couple of inmates were injured. Mr. Ricketts downplayed, said that it is minimal injuries, but people, based on information that I got, maybe it is not quite 100% the truth. At the end of the day, if these inmates feel as if them can take over the place, the inmate want control the asylum, the Popo, they are not going to allow that, so therefore they are going to bring in reinforcement, which is only right. And then when that reinforcement comes in, the fact that they had barricaded the place and stopped the other officers that worked there, so therefore the Popo would have had to come in with some sorts of force. And that is exactly what transpired. So therefore, when you start something, whatever you get, that is what you deserve. Now, like I said, there were 2 disturbances at the other place, Greater Portmore Popo Station. I think it is called 100-man Popo Station. Don't quote me. The situation was, let's call it, much, much worse. It is said that at about 4 a.m. in the morning, crack of dawning, the Popo went to do their routine search when them realized that several of the cells, the door fly or the gate or the grill fly. They realized that most of the inmates were in the passage. They realized that these inmates was trying to do some sorts of break out of jail free. Don't pass go, don't collect $200. So they said to them, they shouted, listen, hoy the boy, go back on our cell. However, it is said that when the Popo tried to go into the passage, it was barricaded by these men. These men tried to use all sorts of blunt force instrument according to the Popo. The Popo then tried to restrain them, saw that it was not working. They called in reinforcements. When the reinforcement came in, it is said that at least 3 officers were injured and then 7 inmates. The 7 inmates were BEATEN very badly. Almost to DEATH, at least one of them. Now people, on this specific day, it was Visitors' Day, so therefore the family members were there with all sorts of toiletry, all sorts of food. However, because of the disturbance or upheaval, they were not allowed to visit. They were not allowed to drop off anything, and people, rightfully so. I am going to let you take a look to an audio from a video that I got. And this is the inmates complaining of their many wounds, their many INJURIES, and asking for the assistance of Indicom. Take a look, and then I'll give my piece.
Be a police out in a big hole out there. See all out there. Man, broke up man in charge. Indicom, broke up man in. Oh, hey, bro. Yeah, that video. Yo, show the blood of the dog. Watch the blood part out of the dog. Okay, dog. Indicom. Devil man is dead. Yeah, devil man. Yes, devil man is dead. Judge, I'm a dog. Devil man. Devil man. The black bleaching. Valentine, show yourself. Show yourself. See my boy that gun with the milk.
The team that was on patrol at the facility heard suspicious movements and discussions taking place within the cell. When they went to check, they were attacked by prisoners who managed to cut themselves out of 8 cells. The team had to apply lethal means to get them under control. Things are still unfolding as we speak, and so as soon as a comprehensive assessment is done, then I can provide further details. But as it is now, we're trying to get the situation under.
Now people, there's always 2 to 3 sides to every story. If what the Popo is saying, specifically the top man, Mr. Phillips, this incident occurred at about 4:30. There was some sorts of attempted jailbreak. They were found caught in their act. Popo responded with not so lethal force. The people did not want to listen. The people did not want to go back in their cells. They barricaded themselves, preventing the Popo that worked there from going inside and putting them back by force. They had to call for backup, reinforcement. When that reinforcement came, they were under attack based on what the Popo is saying. Them are throw all sorts of toilet seat, all sorts of PISS, all sorts of ish on the officers. So therefore the officers turned that not so lethal force into some royal BEAT down After the smoke cleared, it is said that 7 inmates, could be more, maybe the Popo is downplaying. These people you can hear in the voice note of the video or the audio of the video, which I cannot show because of YouTube's policy. You hear them a call for Indicom, them a ball for help, them a talk about how the Popo do this and do that to them. People, what this shows you is that these criminals feel as if they are entitled upon the street, and even worse. When the whole of them come by and cumulus come together and conspire to lie, conspire for breakout, then you hear them a ball and a act like they are victims. The same thing can be said about the family members, the loved ones. It seems as if the mothers and the fathers that you heard was on TVJ complaining. Them not realize that these people are criminals. Criminals act bad when they are on the outside. When criminals congregate, it is even worse. It is like a school of the worstest of the worstest. So therefore, the people want back them family member. They are fighting for the rights of these family members, in which they know are stone cold criminals. MURDERERS, robbers, the worst of the worst. However, I guess their Sketelina want them to be in comfort. They want them back home. So therefore, they are going to go out there and act as if they were innocent, and the Popo just start clot them up. This is my disclaimer before I conclude. I am not saying that the Popo couldn't have restrained themselves a little bit more. I am not saying that no sorts of excessive force was used. However, like I've always said, don't start no ish, won't be no ish. If you do the right thing, most of the times, the wrong thing won't happen to you. So therefore, you as an inmate in both situations, meaning Hunts Bay and Greater Portmore 100-man Popo station, if you did not hide any sorts of contraband, something that is illegal, if you did not try to break out of the people and find facility, then this might not have happened. So in other words, you triggered or instigated, started what happened to you. So therefore, you have nobody else to blame but yourself. Simple as that. Point blank and period. So anyways, people, thanks once again for checking out my video. If you appreciate videos like these, please show your appreciation by liking, commenting, sharing and subscribing to my channel. That is how YouTube promotes videos like these to like-minded, sensible persons like yourself. And last but not least, please subscribe to my next channel. It is called Jamaica Dancehall Source. I'll be pinning the link to that channel in the description of this video. Bless up.